Bobby Ingham, Curtis Ennis. Know that we've been loyal way back from the beginning. A trusted source for the news. 79th and Halas, what it is, what it do. Since Bobby Ingham, Curtis Ennis. Know that we've been loyal even when we wasn't winning. A trusted source for the news. 79th and Halas in your ears, you. Since Bobby Ingham, Curtis Ennis. Know that we've been
loyal. Don't adjust your TV. This is not, I'm not going to hold you, but we are here. 79th and Halas. It's your boy Scott here. I'm here with my man JR Bang, man. As you can see, my brother's not here because, you know, if it's early in the season, what does that mean? That nigga probably got sick. But nah, he had like a little sinus headache. He will be in Indianapolis this week, but he wanted, you know, to at least, you know, get somebody to hold it down. So I hit Bang up. Bang's here. Bang, how you feeling?
I'm feeling better than I did earlier today.
Okay.
That's how we put it, man. This is man trying to get life back in order from a good Vegas trip. Shouts out to my first Black Champ partner, Camp from the Port, and his newly wedded wife, Krista. Had a good celebration over the weekend. Really saw how Las Vegas Raiders fans get down. They really get down out there. Also, surprisingly, saw a whole bunch of Minnesota Vikings and Seattle Seahawks fans. Yeah, weird.
I need to go back to Vegas, man. I ain't been to Vegas in 2 years. Last time I went is when we had the NFL draft. I've said that the NFL draft should be there every year. Forget all that every city needs to have it. No, nigga, it should be in Vegas. 100%. Like you, I am recovering from a nice weekend in Houston, Texas. Anybody who listens to anything in 79th and Halas, I'm not going to hold you. Summer Sessions. I am not big on Texas, and I am not big on the South. Having said all of that, I had a good time on Saturday. I mean, not on Saturday, but on Sunday and on Monday. If those of you who watch, I'm not going to hold you on Monday. I apologize. I was fried out of my mind, my nigga. Like it just, the fact that we even got an hour in was actually spectacular. So we will be back on Friday, sober and ready to go, man. But this is 79th and Halas, episode 250. I am your host, Scott. You can follow me on all social media platforms at BarChair Scott. You can follow JR Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms as well. Subscribe to our Patreon, man, patreon.com/Barbershop Network if you want to hear this episode earlier. Before it hits all the free feeds. Of course, you know the stream is free all the time, but then I put it right behind the paywall, man. So you can take your phone, whatever, you can scan this right here on the screen, the QR code, it'll take you right to the Patreon page. You get a whole bunch of different tiers. 79th and Halas tier is $5. But if you want to get everything, subscribe to the $10 Barbershop All Access tier, and you know you can get you 25% off on your first order at the bcnetshop.com. Get all your 79th and Halas merchandise. I'm not gonna hold you merchandise, Barbershop Network merchandise. And me and Bang got the merch on. Bang got the I'm not gonna hold you hoodie on. I've got the nice, comfortable 79th and Halas hoodie that just came in. My Barbershop Network hoodie just came in. So shout out to everybody. There was even people at Halas Hall who liked the hoodie. I was like, go cop.
Go ahead, grab that.
Go ahead and grab that, man. So we're here. We're going to recap a little bit Sunday's game because we did not have a post-game pod because the game ended very late and my brother had to work the next day. And then Monday I was traveling, moving around, couldn't do that. So we're going to recap a little bit of the bet, talk about Kale's performance, talk about the problems, and then we're going to segue into previewing Sunday's game. We'll be with y'all probably about 35 minutes. I know Bang got to go. So this is going to be a little shorter episode. Not by that much. We usually go about 40 minutes anyway during the midweek anyway. So, but Bang, you weren't on the shit show we had on Monday. So what was your thoughts about the game that happened?
Man, after last week's game, I tempered my expectations, and I was right in doing so. Defensively, I knew he was going to come in. I think defensively, we performed way better than I thought. Second half adjustments led to them only scoring like 3 points. In the second half, I was definitely worried about the defense a bit. Offensively, it went like I thought it was going to go. I thought that they were not going to show the Bears' offensive line no respect. It was going to be blitzing all day, and they blitzed damn near on every last play. Caleb Williams was pressured on, I think they said 36 out of 43 possessions or something like that, which is wild. We was nervous about how the exterior linemen, how the tackles were going to do in this situation, and it went exactly like we expected. I did have glimmer of hope because even with all of that, Caleb played better than he did in the first game, and that's saying something, seeing how much he was pressured. So I came out of there actually a bit more hopeful after just knowing that this team that has a top flight offense and a hell of a defense, and it was still a close game towards the end of the game.
Yeah, if you're watching this video and my screen looks like it's moving, like I said, I'm right next to a train, people. There's nothing I can do about that. There's no earthquake going on. There's a train next door. There's nothing I can do about that. So if it looks like shit is shaking, I apologize. But this is my thing, too, about Sunday, man. And I can say this coherently because I don't know what the fuck came out of my mouth, pause, on Monday. So I can't even tell you if I was making sense or anything. First of all, I came into the building upset. And the reason I came into the building upset was because the NFL kind of messed up my boy Pav's credentials. And, it wasn't the Bears' fault. Shout out the Bears. Shout out everybody over there. It was the NFL with the way they're, changing security up this year. So he was still able to use his credential, but he was not able to be on a pregame field to take picks like he came out there to do. So it was weird. So I was already kind of upset about that. Then I go upstairs to the press box and I see this is an old, it's not even old, but just what they had it. They didn't respect us internet media niggas. Like there was two different press rows. So the nice comfortable press row was for the traditional media niggas. So all the niggas who was with Chicago Tribune, you know what I'm saying? And, the Athletic and, all the respected media names. They were sitting there. Us internet niggas, they had me, my man Herb and Jane from the Bigs, my man Nicholas Mariano from CSGO, and all us niggas in the second row, knee tight. All right, niggas that had no elbow room up there. And it was a terrible view of the field. And I was upset. And on top of that, it was like there was glass like that you could see outside from the press box. So I'm trying to do the rundown for the show. I ain't got nothing but sun coming through. So I'm already upset sitting here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no elbow room and things like that. So I was upset. The game itself, I'll say the crowd was 50-50. But once the Bears started getting, behind the 8 ball, I guess you want to say, the Houston fans really rose up more. You know what I'm saying? It felt like a home game a little bit after. The Bears offense didn't give the crowd much to cheer about. Let's just be real about it. What was weird about it was the first drive, Caleb looked great. 5 of 5, 55 yards, led a scoring drive. The offense, it looked worse. You see, that picture we posted from the press box. This I know is terrible. Niggas was heating my picture. For the first time in 4 years covering, niggas, you up there with Sting, nigga. Like, nigga said I was up there with Owen Hart. Like, I ain't never got the press box.
Yo, that's wild.
Yeah, niggas is wilding. So I felt like it looked worse from where I was at than when I rewatched the game yesterday. It still looked bad. It said bettors are better off with JF. How many Bears games have you watched, Damian? There's no way you come to that conclusion by saying they better off. But anyway, we're not getting into the Justin Fields thing. Oh yeah, much love and respect to Justin. He's 2-0 doing his thing in Pittsburgh. But it was offensive line, bro. I don't think anybody thought it was gonna be great. We thought at its best it could be okay, but it's way worse than we ever thought. That's what stood out to me. Some of the Shane Waldron's play calling didn't make any sense to me, but everything that went bad is kind of like what you said. The Bears had a shot to win that game on the final drive, and that's something that Caleb told us today at Halas Hall, that even though everything they went through, they had an opportunity to win the game. That's what stood out to me. as well as the actual defense. I want to talk about Caleb's performance. Caleb went, I ain't even had a stat on. Caleb had, I think it was like 14. No, it's 14 to win. I'm actually going to look it up right now, make sure I have my accurate shit instead of just spewing nonsense. Okay, here we go. So Caleb was 23-37, 172 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. Those 2 picks, well, I just feel like he was just trying to make something happen, just went up there, not excusing it for him, but it wasn't something like that. Hold on, I gotta at least first of all, I want you to actually watch the game, Damien. If out of all the sacks that he threw, out of all the sacks that he took, only one was his fault. Okay, Justin, we're not gonna have Justin Fields business history, and it ain't even been a couple months. All right, like let's stop it. All y'all who act like he went to Pittsburgh and it's Joe Montana, guess how many Justin Fields has as many offensive touchdowns as the Bears do right now. So I pipe all of that down. Use your eyes. But anyway, that's the last one we're gonna talk about that. But yeah, from a statistical perspective, it looked better than it did last week. The decision making was better. I feel a little bit outside of those 2 interceptions, obviously, but it just feels like the other wide receivers letting down. That Rome touchdown, I much love Rome for actually playing. He got to grab that.
Yeah, that touchdown.
Yeah, that was the Bears general manager was 4 seats down from me. That nigga threw his pen on the table. Was like, gotta get that when Rome dropped that ball. So everybody was like, there's like 2 or 3 touchdowns that Caleb should probably have, but almost doesn't count. But it looks better. Even there was a pass to DeAndre Carter that ended up being a pass interference that looked good. So he looked better. But overall, I feel like I was watching the same Bears game over and over that I've seen for the rest of my life. Like, how many times we gonna talk about, man, I hope he don't get killed. I hope he don't get killed. And that's just kind of how I felt a little bit, man. And it's just like the progression of where he's gonna go isn't concerning, but I'm concerned that this kid is going to be hurt by week 6 if it keeps up that way. Bane, what'd you think about his performance?
I mean, it's nothing to really grade, in my opinion, with how he was under the rest. I guess the only thing that I can say is that he played better than he did before. This is one of those games where I won't call it an outlier. I won't do it like that. But at the same time, this is definitely one of those games where if the shit hits the fan, it's just gonna hit the fan, and it is what it is. You look at the tape, throw it away, burn it, move on to the next game. That's really all I have. It's hard to grade when he was under pressure the whole entire game.
Yeah, I think it's trolled there in the comments today. Like you said, Justin Fields scrambled ability made Braxton Jones look like a genius. Ryan Poles draft pick. All lies be exposed. Cat Williams. First of all, if you're gonna quote Cat Williams, spell his fucking name right. Number one. Anyway, yeah, I think I don't know who these people are in these mentions there. Y'all niggas is tripping today. I don't know what's going on. It's not the usual suspects, but I think when we gotta look at it right here is, and it's not playing a blame game. Like I said, I'm not saying that Caleb was great on Sunday. I'm not going to do that and say, oh, if this didn't happen.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
yeah, like it's only so much you can grade. And this I know because I love listening to the people who crack film for a living and give us like their takes on it. I saw Tim Jenkins was talking about it. Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner was just like, it's really kind of hard for me to tell. Like I watched hours and hours of film. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really it's like you're kind of grading on a curve, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like a lot of this has to be sent to the offensive line and Shane Waldron. And the question that I think all Bears fans are asking themselves, who is the bigger issue, Waldron or the OL? I think it's about 60-40. If I got to do it between the two, 60 I give to O-line, 40 I give to Waldron because a lot of his people he's putting out there, the formations don't make any sense. The number of snap counts he's giving to certain guys don't make any sense. And even went back and saw some people say, Dan Orlovsky said this today. Who's our guy? Who's our backup cover? Chase Daniel said the same thing. He said, you look back and watch the tape, none of these dudes was open. And even more thing that stands out the most is Rome really looks like a rookie. Like Rome really looks like he's like a lot of struggles that he's got going on right now, and we give him props for playing, but he's not running routes right. In fact, on the final play, I think it was a 4th and 17. If Rome runs that route right, that's a first down. You know what I'm saying? That's a first down. And DJ said today, like, yo, there was one play I didn't do it well, and I beat the guy, and it just went right past me. There was so many plays out there that were left on the field that's just like, that would have happened, that would have happened. It'd have been an issue. I think the main problem is this, and yeah, granted, they've gone to get some good D lines in the first 2 weeks, but we can't keep saying, oh, this line is good, this line's bad. This is the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the NFL. You're going to come up with good lines. And if you're going up against somebody like a D'Amico Ryans, and that first drive, Caleb marched up and down the field, he's like, okay, I'm finna blitz, buddy. That's going to be the, I guess, like plan of attack for any team playing the Bears now is we need to blitz them, see if Caleb's going to beat the blitz. In the run game, the run blocking is even worse than the pass blocking to me. And that's something that they need to fix. And also dedication to the run. No more shotgun runs. No more shotgun runs. Run it down their throat until it works. Where would you say, issue-wise, who has the biggest, shit on them right now? The Waldron or the O-line?
I'm always going to lay the blame on the captain of the ship, and that's the coach. So I'm always going to give the coach the lion's share of the blame. With that being said, like, man, offensively, a lot of teams are looking terrible right now. I think it's due to a lot of people just not playing enough reps in preseason games and in training camp. These training camps are not as in-depth as you probably would think if you've looked at past years. So every team is going through some type of work in progress type situation. So when you have a rookie quarterback, when you have a number one wide receiver who's already hurt, you got Rome who's not playing healthy. And yes, I forgot who you said it, but they were right. The wide receivers had no separation. None.
Chase Daniels.
Yeah, Chase Daniels. The wide receivers had no separation. That was one of the biggest things that I saw during the game. I was just like, yo, can't nobody get open? I don't know if they was just scouted perfectly by D'Amico Ryans and the defensive coaching staff or what, but the wide receivers and Cole Kmet had no separation. So if they can't get open, if they can't get open, then the pressure that Caleb's going to get throughout the game, there's not going to be any way for him to get away from that if nobody is open. He's just going to have to fall every play damn near. So if they're doing slants to get the ball out of his hands quicker, or anything like that, and they can't get open, he's SOL anyway. So the offensive line didn't do him no favors. The wide receivers didn't do him no favors. That lands right squarely on the offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. Did he have the right game plan for the team that he was playing? You could say that at the Titans game, and you could say that with this game. Now, these next couple of games, it's going to be a little bit easier for him, I guess you could say. But even I saw some people was talking about why is Travis Homer in the game and stuff like that. You got to remember, he's familiar with Shane Waldron and his offense.
Yeah, from Seattle.
Yeah. From Seattle. So that's why you're probably not seeing a lot of Roschon Johnson, because he has somebody that's familiar with that. The run game, like you said, there's no push. I've seen a lot of people say move Tevin Jenkins to the right side. I don't think that's such a bad idea at this point, because when you had him over the right, he was mauling folks last year. So it's a lot of things that they need to tinker with, and Shane Waldron and Chris Morgan got a lot of conversations to have.
Yeah, I think that, I want to answer this question that Bobby put in there. Bobby Thompson said, is Kramer just that bad of a center that he gets no shot? I think it comes down to this. Like, when you bring in the guys that Ryan Poles brought in, when he said he had a hard on for Ryan Bates for like 2 years at this point. And now Ryan Bates is on the IR, and then you traded for Coleman Shelton. Those guys are going to get the bulk of the other reps. Kramer was around last year. Like he's not that good. I think the rough thing for Bears fans to accept, me too, there's the offensive line ain't gonna get good during the season. Like, this ultimately is a problem that's gonna have to be addressed in the offseason. A problem that should have been addressed to begin with. I'm not here to play Monday morning quarterback. I hate people say, well, We shouldn't have drafted Rome. Everybody on draft night was ecstatic we drafted Rome. They were saying things like, you got to get talent when it's there. Don't switch up now because the old line is worse than you thought it was going to be. Now, that's Ryan Pohl's fault for the way he built the roster. Yeah, there's some certain tinkers that you can make. You can move Tevin Jenkins back to right. You know what I'm saying? Put him on the same side as Darnell Wright, and then those dudes do what they do. That's an option. But I know people got mad at what Flu said, continuity, because of Chicago sports. We don't want to hear the word continuity, which is something we've heard for everybody.
And there is no continuity right now.
Yeah.
Like that to me, when I heard that during the press conference, I was like, yo, there's no continuity right now. You got Nate Davis who ain't practicing. The offensive line is still getting used to each other. That's why there's no continuity, because that man right there ain't practicing. During the preseason and training camp, you were switching back and forth between Shelton and Bates on the center spot and on the guard spot. There was no continuity. So we're going to preach continuity in the regular season? No, that's not the time for that to happen. The time for that to happen is in training camp. And that's why that coach speak is what kind of got me more irritated more than anything.
I think you hit the nail on it. Coach speak. Flus has gone in a full coach speak mode since I think the loss on Sunday. He came into the press room on Sunday. He looked like a nigga just hit him in his chest. Like, he's getting full coach speak on. Caleb's how you doing, everybody, is getting less and less each week. the Bears are being beaten into him.
Hey man, he's under that pressure.
I was laughing because during the off season, he's go Bears, and in my head I'm like, yeah, I really want to see what this nigga's gonna be like come October. Like, I'll see how much energy that nigga's got there. But yeah, even with the continuity, like, yeah, there's changes could be made, but I also don't feel. I think when you zoom out, take your emotional fan shades off. When you zoom out as a coach, as a general manager, you're not going to make changes after 2 games, especially if nobody will hear this. Now, I said the same thing too. I'm not being dedicated to this record because the numbers lie a little bit, but they're still 1-1. Everybody in the division outside of Minnesota is 1-1. And let's be real, nobody with eyes actually believe Minnesota's going to keep this up. I would be stunned if Sam Darnold keeps playing this way. I would 100% be stunned. So from that perspective, if you're the Bears, yeah, you're not going to go out there and make changes. Now, if you lose these upcoming games, I think this next 5 games is going to make or break this season. You've got Indianapolis and Indy, and I think it's gonna be a tough game because that's a desperate team. That's a desperate team. They're looking 0-3 in the eyes. They'd expected to have a much better season this year. So that's gonna be something that you gotta win. You're gonna be playing the Rams at home. And there's gonna be no Cooper Kupp. There's gonna be no Puka Nacua. They got like 4 or 5 other important injuries on that team as well.
And you're taking a West Coast team that's playing a 12 o'clock game in the Midwest. So.
Exactly. And no Aaron Donald on that other side. Then you play Carolina. They was already bad to begin with. Now you got Andy Dalton coming up in the town. And then, you go to London, play the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then you come after the bye week, you in Washington play the Commandos, as Bomani calls them. So these next 5, I believe, they got to go at worst. Can't go no worse than 3-2. Like, this is going to show a lot. And just like, Miles says, these next 3 games are great for the O-line to get some confidence. Yeah, the Colts have allowed 472 rushing yards over these last 2 games. So for sure, like, that to me is why it's kind of make or break.
Yeah, if y'all watch the preseason special that we did at Pillars, I said this is the run right here. This right here is the run. This is also why I haven't been doom and gloom after 2 games, because whether Richardson is ass or not, whether the Rams was healthy or not, I expected them to win those games right there. I know I went in a full delusion mode on some dude to say we was going to beat the Texans, but I said in the preseason special we was going to lose that game, so I'll take that right there. So these next 3 games, to me, is going to tell us where the season is going to go, because it's confidence.
Yeah.
One thing that I think that we have to keep in mind is that you can lose games. You can win games. Like, you could get a team that's 2-0 right now, and people say they're a pretender. And even though we won these 2 games, we didn't win it in the fashion that we wanted to. We really lucked up. Oh, man. And you got teams that are 0-2, like, say, for instance, the Bengals. The Bengals are 0-2. They always start off slow.
30th in a row.
Right. And you played a game that you should have won against the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, you keep losing like this, but their confidence never wavers. They lost to the Patriots and was like, all right, we're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now everybody going to think our ass is going to get killed out here. And they was a penalty away from winning the game. So when I look at the Bears defense is the most confident piece of this team, bar none. They feel like they go up in there and they're going to wreck shop on whoever they play. So when they look at Anthony Richardson, they're looking at food, right? You're looking at the defensive line who has improved. Billings is looking like a monster. And
he's the third best player on that defense. It's
right.
And it's Jalen and him.
And it's making Dexter play a lot quicker off of the ball. We've seen some plays from him on Sunday. That defensive line, even though Sweat has not snapped off a little bit like that lately, he still got to be respected. And 52 over there is still motor is still high on every play. Defense, we got. So when you go up against these teams right here, when you go up against the Colts, when you go up against the Rams, when you go up against the Panthers, 3 games in a row, the defense is looking like, as long as we do what we need to do, everybody is food. Offense, give us 14 points, and I feel like we can win. Offensively, though, that offensive line needs some confidence. Tev needs to pancake somebody. Wright needs to put somebody on their ass right there. Braxton Jones needs to show something. Nate Davis' confidence needs to be built up. These games could be confidence builders, and if you roll off 3 in a row or 2 out of the next 3, it could be helpful for the confidence, because then it builds confidence in your rookie quarterback, who right now, I don't think he's lost confidence. I think he's just still trying to figure it out. These 3 games are the figure it out games.
Yeah, Shannon Mack, I won't say that this record doesn't mean nothing, but I do feel that this is the part of the season where, there's so many 2-0 teams right now, and it's just like, we're not going to be talking about these niggas in 6 weeks. So I get what you're saying. It means something, but it's also not the point where we need to get too high or too low.
But we're in tiebreaker season. We're in tiebreaker season. Right. Like and the Rams is a tiebreaker game.
And that's why that win over the Falcons over the Eagles is very important for them. That's a tiebreaker game for them as well. So so these games, they matter. You know what I'm saying? Like the Rams, that stuff matters. I think with the defense, I think that's probably why I'm not panicking either, because this defense, and I said on Sunday Night the Halas, I said I'm not gonna hold you last week. I was looking at the defense too, like that's not Will Levis, nigga. Like, prove it. And boy, did they. And everybody's concerned about the pass rush. These niggas got 5-6 sacks in 2 games already. You know what I'm saying? They've got 2 fumbles. I think like 3 picks. All right, so the defense is getting turnovers, and so they're getting to the quarterback. But you take an offense that is as good as the Texans and a quarterback that's good as CJ Stroud, and you hold them to 1 offensive touchdown and only 3 points in the second half. That's excellent, and that makes me think that even though I expect the Colts to come out, okay, we're at the crib. Season's on the line here, basically. No team making the playoffs starting 0-3. And the defense is going to be ready. They're not going to be out to force Buckner. That the defense is like, nigga, that's Anthony Richardson. Like, we're going to do what we got to do to do it. And I think that's the thing, that if you want any type of positive things to look at or something that keeps your faith going through the rest of this extremely long season, still 15 more games left, is that this defense is looking like it's elite. And that's something that they need to hang their hat on and let it carry them until they figure this offense up. And I still don't believe this offensive line is as bad as they've shown. I think that it's still a middle-of-the-road defense. I just don't believe that this offensive line is going to be this bad for the rest of the season.
I don't think so either. And to add to what you were saying, historically, it takes the offense a little bit longer to gel than the defense. Defense come right out. So the Bears trending to a top 5 defense with the schedule that they have coming up, even getting to the back half of the season when we start to play the division. These are games that are winnable games off the defense alone. So this is when I give everybody hope, right? Because I've been looking at the national media, I've been listening to the local media, and everybody is all doom and gloom. When I was watching the show on Monday, I even kept telling y'all in the show chat,
Yeah, you
like,
was
yo,
like,
y'all niggas too depressed for this shit. I'm gonna temper my expectations. I'm not gonna go full delusion. I'll save that for the past shows. However, this is why I have faith in this team. If the defense is playing like this, and we're 1-1, when the offense catches up, all they got to do is catch up halfway, y'all. Just catch up halfway. And this team is going to be a playoff team. If Caleb is who we think he is, and what we wanted, because don't get me wrong, these first two games is that don't mean that he can't roll off a couple.
Yeah.
Right? Especially with these next couple of games. You give this offense confidence. All it's going to do is give the defense even more confidence.
And that's what, and not to cut you off, but that's also what DJ told us. That first of all, I love DJ, boy. DJ is the coolest nigga on the team. He's funny, but like not in a high telling jokes funny. DJ just always looks like he high. Now I don't know if he smokes or not. I don't know. I know it's legal in the NFL now, so I don't know. But the nigga just cool. Like today, he's like, yeah, I didn't think I was showing out my frustration when I looked on TV. Like, yeah, I was tripping. But he said why he was so frustrated because he felt like they were just one play away from really blowing that game open. He says all it's going to take for us is a game or two, and then we're going to get the offense rolling. And that's why I think so much hangs on Shane Waldron. And something my boy Herb Howard said was that Shane said in the preseason offseason that he's going to fix his game plan around the players. It don't feel like that right now. Feel like he's trying to do what he wants to do. And I also want to say shout out to Damian for what he said right here. Damian says, I'm a little concerned playing these name games. Yeah, they look beatable on paper, but so did the Titans, and we almost lost that one. That was a full defense. That's a good point because, you know, when you're bringing up these injuries, like, yeah, it helps the benefit, but if the Bears have these expectations that we expected them to have, it don't matter who's on the team that you're playing, but I think it's kind of ups the ante to know that you have extra no reason to lose this game. And I also think it's like this as well. Like Flus has to get better with the head coach thing. Like Bobby says, like I think we all know he's a pretty good defensive coordinator. You know, he's calling the plays, he's putting the game plan together with Eric Washington. Flus is really good on that. He's got to get better at the other head coach things. And we both said that we didn't think that Flus' job was on the line this season. But if these next 5 games don't go the way the team wanted to go, it's going to get a little hot. And I'm not saying I want this dude hired, but you're going to start hearing the Lincoln Riley rumors. You're going to start hearing how Ben Johnson will be available, how Bobby Slowick is going to be available.
I can tell you right now. If Flus sucks, the next head coach of the Chicago Bears is going to be Bobby Slowick. That's going to be the next head coach.
Now, I know our boy Mikey put this in the chat, and this is probably very unrealistic, but I would love for Sean McVay to leave LA. And come Coach Caleb.
If he leave, he going home for a bit. His wife too fine.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I think
he's going to TV.
He's going to TV.
And his wife is his wife. No, I believe that Bobby Slowick is going to mess around and be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears if Flus does not do well. These next 3 games, I mean, I don't want to high take it, but I'll high take it because how slow the offense have started. These next 3 games is going to determine a lot when it comes to the future. Because if you look at everything at the back half of the season, people are not giving the Bears any hope for going out there and doing what they got to do against that division right now, at least. If you get confidence, I think you'll be okay. But if he sucks it up these next 3 games, and then we go in the back half of the year and we huff and we finish 6 or 7, like 6 wins, we can't go 7-10 this year. We have to improve. This could very well be his last game. I'm just not sure that the Lincoln Riley thing is going to happen, mainly because of the fact that it didn't necessarily work for somebody like Cliff Kingsbury. If it was going to work like that, you would have just made him the OC.
And by the way, I'm not saying that the Bears will hire Lincoln. I'm saying that to answer the chat question.
Oh, they'll call him, though.
They're going to call him. Now I'm with you. I wouldn't leave USC to come to Chicago. I wouldn't do that. Like I believe
Bobby Slow daddy used to be the DC here for about a number of years.
And it don't help that Waldron's coming out slow and Clint Kubiak just looks like
that.
Amazing.
I wanted to say it in the chat.
Yeah.
That was my pick to be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And when they didn't get him, I was like,
Yeah, and he looks good these first 2 games. We're going to talk about election year Derek Carr on the show Friday. I got that on my rundown. Election year Derek Carr numbers have stood out. Bang, I know you only got a couple more minutes before you got to get up out here. So I'm going to finish up my stuff. But for you, what do you want the game plan to be like? And then give me your score for Sunday.
Run game got to be established against this team. The coach has given up a lot of rushing yards. So you got to establish that run game, get the play action out there to give Caleb, some confidence, right? I want to see the wide receivers get separation. This might have to be the DJ Moore game. This might be the game where you see him go off. Considering how his body language was and he acknowledged it, I fully expect, and I ain't Mikey, but I'll put some money on this. I think he's going to go for 125 at least. At least DJ Moore. You're going to see a lot of co-commit in this game as well. But this is going to be a confidence booster. Caleb Williams, 225 yards. The Bears is going to win by 14 because I think that defense is going to overwhelm Anthony Richardson. The only thing that I'll be leery of is that even though he can play like ass, that boy will throw a bomb out there.
He got an arm.
He got an arm, and if the one of the wide receivers gets separation, they will get one.
Hey, so, Tyreek Stevenson, this can't be the game. You getting body slammed out there. He been getting hit with the woo woo these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, this ain't the game. But I fully expect that defense to be stellar, and I expect the Bears to win by 14.
So what was the score again?
Oh, I didn't put a score up there. I just said they win by 14.
Just win by 14. Okay. Shane O'Mac got Bears 26, Colts 13. Ben, we're going to get you out of here, and then we'll holler at you on Friday on I'm Not Going to Hold You. We'll do a full in-depth breakdown. That is JR Bang. You can follow him at JR Bang on all social media platforms. We'll holler at you on Friday, brother.
Peace, my brother.
Yes, sir. So for me, what I'm looking forward on Sunday for me, and I'm looking forward to going to the stadium. I've heard good things about Lucas Oil Stadium. Heard it gets loud over there. What Pat McAfee called the Loud House. I think it's gonna be a cool little atmosphere out there. For me, establish the run. Run. I'm talking about physical runs up the gut. If it don't work, keep doing it. I think eventually it's gonna break out. This is a team that is terrible on the run defense. They didn't gave up 472 yards on the ground the first 2 games of the year. Establish that. You can get the run game going. Opens up more stuff for Caleb, opens up play action, and allows Caleb to do the things that he wants to do and let this offense do the things he wants to do. Also, what I need to see Shane Waldron use the personnel that Ryan Poles is giving you. DeAndre Carter, cool guy. Have no problem with DeAndre Carter. I think he's a really good kick returner for the Bears. He's really helped out in that aspect. And even when the balls are thrown to him, he's caught it more than that, but I don't want to see him in the game plan like that. I don't want to see that. Also, yeah, just like Shane said, under center runs is where get rid of those shotgun runs. If I see that one time, I'm going to lose it. Use the personnel. You know what I'm saying? Yes, JG, I've been preaching for Tyler Scott all season. He had one of the best camps out of anybody. It blows my mind. It boggles my mind that he's not out there and DeAndre Carter's getting all this. Ride DJ Moore. Pause. He's the highest paid player in Chicago Bears history. He is your number one. You gave him all that money. Feed him the football. I don't know if Keenan's going to play or not. From the way that Flus has been talking, it kind of feels like this is truly a day-to-day and a pain tolerance thing. I believe if he don't practice in some type of capacity tomorrow, which is Thursday, is that I don't think he's going to play again. And that opens up a lot of stuff because he's a phenomenal route runner. Use him. Use Rome more. Even though Rome is struggling a little bit, keep putting him in the flow of the offense. Use Cole Kmet. We saw Cole Kmet a little bit more in week 2 than we did in week 1. Keep showing that. Use everything you have at your disposal to get the offense going, because this is a big, big game. For me, I don't know. I've gone back and forth with who I think is going to win this game all day. I could 100% see Indianapolis winning. I think that their season's on the line. They had plans of being competitive for a playoff spot this year, especially coming off Anthony Richardson missing all of last year. They thought they'd be even better, and they're looking 0-3 in the eye. Some teams made it to the playoffs after starting 0-2. I don't know how many. Basically, none have made the playoffs at the start in 0-3. Starting 0-3 is pretty much nail in the coffin, and they're not going to want that. They're going to be home. Even though I feel like that's going to be a great Bears crowd as well, because it's only 3 hours away from Chicago, so I do expect a lot of Bears fans to be in attendance. But Colts fans have a big fan base. They're going to hold it down. I want to see long, sustaining drives, and I want you to use the guys you have. Use the guys you have. And Waldron, just keep it simple, bro, because you lose this game, you're 1-2, and you're going up against the Rams. You know they got all the injuries in the world. This is still a team that, Matthew Stafford, he's a Super Bowl champion. Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in football, if not the best coach in football. That's not something you want to be going to, even when you're at home, trying to stay alive. And that's something that I need to see. And yeah, with the turf, I if I had to bet right now, I don't think Keenan plays again this week. I would love to be wrong. I didn't think Rome was going to play last week, and ended up playing it. My score, man. Oh, man. I got a Bears win. Mainly because, is the defense. The defense give me the most confident that I just don't see Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson having a complete game enough against this defense to be able to win. And I think that the Bears defense is going to give the Bears offense as many chances as possible to put points on the board. I do think Caleb gets his first pass touchdown. Caleb should probably have 3 touchdowns already if his receivers didn't have Butterfingers, but it is what it is. I would say, oh, man, I'm going to say, I think it's fair to say 21 points for the Bears. I'm not going to do too much. I don't want to go put too much dip in my chips, say 28. I'm going to say Bears win 21 to the Colts 10. I think it's going to go all the way down to the wire. And I think Caleb Williams gets his touchdown to put the ice on the game. And I think the Bears will move to 2-1. I think the offensive line is going to play a lot better. Like I said, I think this is not a great offensive line. I said that at its peak, I thought it could be middle of the league type of offensive line. I don't believe they're as bad as they're playing. This is a real look yourself in the mirror game for the offensive line and for Shane Waldron these next 3 with the Rams, with the Panthers, and with Indy on Sunday. And I believe they feel the pressure because if you go 1-2 or even worse, 0-3 in these games, heads are going to roll because you can't use the excuse of, well, Justin's not our quarterback. No, this is Caleb's your quarterback. His ability to stay healthy and his progress is the only thing that matters for this organization. And that's why I think they're going to be able to, it's kind of good for this adversity this early in the season. This is also, I'm ecstatic that they don't play anybody in the division for another 2 months. And I think it's going to be a big one. I think it's going to be a close game, but I do feel the Bears will pull that out, man. That is all I've got for you today. Shorter episode than usual. My brother was not feeling good. Had a little bit of a sinus headache, but he is feeling better. And both of us will be at Lucas Oil Stadium this Sunday for the Bears and the Colts game. Looking forward to that. Shout out to JR Bang for filling in for Flows. We'll be back on Friday for a new episode, a sober episode. If I'm not going to hold you, we're going to do a full preview of week 3. Do a full preview of the Bears Indy game. We'll get some of Mikey and Dante's thoughts on the game on Sunday. And then we're also going to have Respect the Culture, talk a little college football, give some love to our guy, Agent Rojanorski, who retired today. So it's going to be a big show on Friday. And me and Flows will have our recap pod Sunday or Monday, depending on what time we get in from Indy, man. So we appreciate all this love and support. Y'all need to go get you some merch. As you can see, I got the 79th and Halas hoodie. Shout out to all y'all who got y'all merch. I saw y'all tweet the pictures. Keep support, man. Visit bcnetshop.com to get all your 79th and Halas merch. All y'all, I'm not going to hold you merch and all of your Barber's Chair Network merch going there, man. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. If you subscribe to the $10 all access feed, you get 25% off your first order on the BCNet shop. It says stay away from liquor on this trip, though. I will not be drinking in Indianapolis because it is Indianapolis. There's nothing to do in Indianapolis whatsoever. I will be going there, doing my job, and going home. Okay. Houston is different. Houston is much different. Houston is Houston. Indianapolis, the best thing to do out there is to go to a TGI Fridays. So you do have to not worry about me being taken out the game on Friday, man. So that is all that I got for y'all today, man. Y'all know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. My brother ain't here, but you can follow him at Flows and Eleni on Barberchair Net on all social media platforms, man. And we'll holler at y'all on Friday if I'm not gonna hold you, and for the post game show after the Bears Indy game, man. We up out of here.
Since Bobby Ingram, Curtis Ennis, know that we've been loyal way back from the beginning. A trusted source for the news. 79th at Halas, what it is, what it do. Since Bobby Ingram, Curtis Ennis, know that we've been loyal even when we wasn't winning. A trusted source for the news. 79th at Halas in your ears, you. Since Bobby Ingram, Curtis Ennis.